Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Briareos Kerensky and welcome to the review of Alice Gear Aegis CS, or Concerto of Simulatrix, the spin-off of the popular, at least in Japan, mobile game Alice Gear Aegis. Like the original, Alice Gear CS is Japan only and there are no news about it coming to the West. There, it's available for PS4, PS5 and Switch. The review is based on the PS4, with brief mentions of the Switch version. My experience with the original Alice Gear is limited to the OAV that came out a year ago, fan art and a bunch of Kotobukiya's models, but I know you act as a commander of an all-girl unit fighting alien invaders. These girls are known as actresses. Instead of shooting aliens, in Alice Gear CS you shoot other actresses in 1 vs 1 or 3 vs 3 battles to determine which team is the best in the Tokyo area. There are 22 actresses to choose from, each with her own fully voiced storyline. All girls start off with basic equipment and you'll be able to purchase better weapons, armor, accessories, costumes and skill with the money gained in fights. Storylines unfold in 21 days, with each day represented by an hexagon on a progression map. During the week you'll fight one-on-one, weekends are for 3-on-3 battles, with Sunday fights being story-driven. Teams are preset by the story and you can't change them. You can only access the 2 hexagons adjacent to the one you have cleared, and whatever you find on a tile is not randomized. You can go through a girl's storyline multiple times, and the game keeps track of the tiles you've already been on. The story itself won't change, but replaying a storyline will increase its difficulty. Opponents will have better equipment from the get-go, more health, will hit harder, and they will be less predictable. Playing through a storyline for the first time will be quite easy, but during your 3rd or 4th playthrough you'll need to show off your skills. The AI can still be tricked into corners, and once an opponent is stunned you have plenty of time to charge up more powerful attacks, but the higher difficulty makes for thrilling, fast-paced battles that bring out the best Alice Gear CS has to offer. Unfortunately, opponents always use 1 or 2 loadouts and there aren't many arenas, so variety isn't exactly Alice Gear CS's strong suit, and some matchups make fights a breeze to go through no matter the difficulty. Girls are loaded with 2 main weapons, one ranged and one physical, 2 special weapons linked to the armor being used, and a special meter for an ultimate attack or call in a teammate for a combination attack. All actresses have 2 sets of exclusive gear, and everyone can equip common tier parts or someone else's lower tier set. Weapons also have an elemental affinity, but I found the boost given by elemental weaknesses rather limited and you are pretty much set when using the best personal equipment there is. Common and low tier parts can also be colored as you wish, but don't expect anything like Gundam Breaker or Megaton Musashi. Here you are limited to solid colors selected from presets, without access to shader properties. There are several types of ranged weapons. Sniper rifles, dual pistols, bazookas or assault rifles, each with their own rate of fire, range, power and magazine capacity. Most weapons have limited tracking capability, but a well-placed dash will dodge any incoming fire, even ultimate attacks. Ranged weapons can be charged up for different effects as well, and I must say it's fun learning how to use different weapons, and there is good balance between the various types, though the game favors high mobility loadouts and snipers are kinda hard to use, despite their ability to fire all across the arena. Close-range weapons feature sword and shield combos, two-handed swords, hammers and lances. Again, all types have their own quirk, like sword and shields being able to parry and counter other physical attacks. Switching between close and long range is the key to win battles, and the AI does a good job in using a girl's strength. Snipers like Sitara will keep distance, all-rounders like Kaede will alternate attack ranges, and fast girls like Serena will move all around the place to score several low-power hits to wear you down. In terms of protection, girls equip top and bottom armor parts, those being arms plus backpack and legs respectively. While these will not affect overall health, they will influence other parameters like defense and movement speed, in addition of the 2 special attacks triggered by the shoulder buttons. These are even more varied than standard weapons and range from options, homing missiles, temporary stat boosts, or mines, to various kinds of laser attacks. Most of these actions can be charged up for various effects, usually how long they last, and often act as an equalizer against other actresses. Fumika is too slow to dodge or approach a sniper like Mari, fire a couple of homing missiles to interrupt Mari and close within effective range. Aika continues to pummel you at close range with a hair hammer, deploy Yutsuyu's thunder options and see how she likes them. Overall, the combat is not particularly deep, but it's enough to keep you interested in going through all storylines at least once. Unfortunately, the other single-player modes aren't as enticing, consisting of 1-on-1, 3-on-3 and a 6-person battle royale. When single player is no longer enough, you can always take your favorite team online. Here you can fight in ranked and casual matches. Ranked matches are only available as 3-on-3 battles, while casual matches add 6-person battle royales. On PS4 it's easy to find players to square against in ranked matches, but I was never able to find someone for any of the casual modes. The netcode is robust enough, and battles in ranked matches are faster than anything single player can offer. Players stay at long range, favoring characters and equipment with zoning moves and homing attacks. Physical attacks are used sparingly, and there is quite a steep learning curve, especially now that most opponents you'll find are dedicated players that know combat mechanics in and out and customize their teams accordingly. Losing matches will still give you some loot. The Switch version adds a local mode which I wasn't able to test. My major gripe with Alice Gear CS is how grindy it is, even for common accessories. Going through a single storyline is usually enough to buy someone's best gear and save enough money for one piece of equipment for the next girl, and I suggest not to buy any accessory or common costumes unless all your girls are decked out. Common accessories like glasses and earrings are often unlocked through story progression or received as bonus for completing a storyline, and they have to be purchased for every single girl. I strongly suggest to save money for equipment and exclusive costumes and accessories. You get money back for things you have already unlocked, but often it's not the total amount of what you've paid. I wouldn't mind the common grind so much if common accessories were, well, common for everyone, so that you could focus on the exclusive content. One more thing is the lack of a proper illustration gallery. You do have the BGMs, but not a gallery for the handful of illustrations shown during the ending credits, or a way to see all battle animations. You have a limited range of camera movement around a selected number of poses when outfitting an actress, but that's about it. On PS4 the game moves without a hitch at 60 FPS, and loading times are short because there isn't that much detail on screen. I think all of the models, textures and illustrations have been taken from the original mobile game. You can see the baked shading on girls' necks, for example, and some clothing are rather pixelated, as are some backgrounds. The lip sync is limited to a couple of frames of mouth movements. Graphics serve their purpose, however, and this doesn't change the fact that complete high-tier outfits are incredibly cool and there are some very nice costumes for every girl. On Switch there are some technical cuts as expected. Cutscenes and menus are rendered at the same resolution as on PS4 but without anti-aliasing. Battles are rendered at a lower resolution plus anti-aliasing, with arena textures and effects scaled down in visual quality. Frame rate is still constant, and loading times between the two versions are basically identical. Music is often drowned out by voices and sound effects, but if you pay attention you'll be treated to a series of high-tempo instrumental tracks that perfectly underscore the action. Audio cues for all combat-related events are spot on, and the voice cast does a good job both in and outside battles. Overall, Alice Gear Aegis Concerto of Simulatrix is a good game. Its combat is not particularly deep and single-player suffers due to repeated content, but it's a fun game to play and will serve some hours of solid, fast-paced mechagirl combat. If you miss the days of magical lyrical Nanoha The Battle of Aces or Busou Shinki on the PSP, Alice Gear CS is the game for you, though I find the quality of its single-player component a tad below from the other two titles. I hope you have enjoyed this review and you'll stick around for more. Briarios over and out!
まだまだ私も捨てたもんじゃないでしょ